Yo, what's up everyone? In today's video we are going to be rating precision stages for Team Precision. So here's how it's going to work. I'll be going into the stage, giving you my feedback, giving you my reason for rating the stage, basically the way I did. And after I'm done with that, I'll be adding a clip of my clear of the stage. So I recorded these over about a week and a half. You'll notice different shirts. There's one that is completely see-through, which is interesting. But anyways. Alright, so the first stage we'll be rating today is Cloud Spike Saga Volume 1 by Planet Z-Rock. It's a pretty easy stage. It's rated at 0.5, and I also rated it at 0.5. So you'll notice that there is only a certain number of jumps, like 5, 6 before a checkpoint, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 before the checkpoint, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 after the checkpoint. It's a total of 11 jumps. 11 jumps in the stage. It's not too bad. None of these are very tight either. The hardest 2 jumps, in my opinion, are the one right before the checkpoint and the one right at the end. These 2 jumps are a little bit tighter because you need to be able to move your momentum properly. You need to actually gauge how far you'll be jumping, basically. Overall, I think this is a really good stage for beginners. It teaches you a few very basic concepts of precision, stopping your momentum properly, jumping the right height at the right angle, and just basic stuff that you'll need to do any kind of precision platforming, basically. This is the first step, in my opinion. Next up is Cloud Spike Saga Volume 2, which is a very great follow-up to the first stage, in my opinion. I'll be speaking about each section individually, basically, because I'll have to get to the door to show you the second section, and I might not do it in a single try. There's no guarantee, so let's take it slow. This first section here, how many jumps are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. There's literally 19 jumps in the first section, but they're all very, very short jumps. None of them are too aggressive, and I think that the only harder part of this first section is probably that bottom jump where the 50 coin is. It looks armless, but it's a really tiny forward jump, and when you're not used to it, that can be a little bit difficult. Otherwise, the only other tricky part is probably doing the hook on the cloud in the top left corner, right by the 10 coin. So that might be a little bit difficult as well for new precision players. Alright, so Section 2 has a certain number of jumps as well. They are a tiny bit harder, as you can see. There are at least 3 different precision moves in there. How many jumps are there actually? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 jumps here, 19 the first section, 33 jumps total. So compared to the first stage, which was what, 11 jumps if I remember correctly, this is 3 times as many jumps. And yet this is still rated at 0.5. I also, once again, rated this at 0.5 as well. Mostly because these are learning tricks. These are not extremely difficult precision-wise. They're surprisingly tame. You have a few hooks here and there which are harder, but altogether this took me probably 10 or 15 minutes the first time I cleared it, which was a while back. And finally, Cloud Spike Saga Volume 3. This again is a great addition to the series. It's actually much harder than the previous two. It's rated at 1.5 as 3 sections, 2 checkpoint. And it took me at least 2 hours to do in a single run, a single no checkpoint run. So once again, we'll be checking each section individually, one after the other. I will spare you the million deaths it takes me to get to each section to talk about. So anyway, let's start with the first section because we're already here. As you can see, we have a few indicators. Because this is a slight bit harder, you need to know approximately where to go when you're not used to it, at least. Each of these jumps are a little bit higher, a little bit more precise than the previous 2 volumes. This is not as much of a learning stage, more of a training stage. You'll get to learn how to properly set your momentum in motion, how and where to stop it, how to dodge one-ways and corners, how to hook under them. There's a lot of technical steps in this one. They're all fairly easy in comparison to other higher point stages. But they're there, and you have to learn them. That's why there are 2 checkpoints. Alright, Section 2 is actually no joke. It is, in my opinion, the hardest one of the 3 sections. Mostly because of that one trick at the far right of the screen. Do you see that weird hook that you had to do there? The arrow pointing down? It's really hard. You'll see in the clear video after this, it's actually really hard. It made me clench every single time I did it. It's not that difficult of a move because you have 2 squares. It's just the angle at which you need to take it. The off-screen jump into that descent is nerve-wracking. It's really hard. In my opinion, once again. It's always a matter of opinion. Some people will clear this in literally 55 seconds. Wait, that's my own world record. Never mind. But still, some people will have no trouble with these kind of moves, but I found it pretty difficult. You lose sight of Mario for a little while there, and it's just really hard to align yourself. But otherwise, once you're past that one really obnoxious jump, the section is pretty free. There's nothing else that is particularly hard. And finally, Section 3. This one is surprisingly easy. There are, I think, 2 slightly harder moves in there. Being the one cloud at the bottom there, next to the 30 coins, the right of the 30 coins. You have to hook onto the cloud, and you have a single square of drop space. You have to be pretty precise about that. You have to challenge that cloud's hitbox pretty hard. But otherwise, these jumps are all fairly tame. They require you to use a lot of short momentum gain, which is basically running for like 1 or 2 frames before jumping to get the full jump instead of a slow, low jump. But otherwise, yeah, like I said, there's nothing too challenging about this section in particular. There is, however, one last thing I need to mention. That last jump is very, very scary. It's not difficult. You have 3 squares of space, but it's scary. Let me tell you, it is. So in the end, after clearing this stage about 10 times total, I decided to rate it at 1.5, which is 0.5 lower than the original rating at which I cleared it. It was actually rated at 2 points. But in my opinion, the 2 checkpoints and the fact that most of these jumps are actually not so difficult with enough practice, there's maybe 3 harder jumps in the entire thing. Because of those reasons, I believe that 1.5 is a more accurate rating for it. So that's my take on it, guys. Let's try the last jump, just for the fun. We got it. There you go. The next stage is from a different series. It's same creator basically, but a mini series that are involving the minimum amount of items, spikes, and obstacles in general. So let me show you guys what this one is about. There is a single spike in this one, as the title suggests. A single spike. And yet this is a precision level. What you need to do is a medium jump above the spike, a run downward under the spike, and then jump again over the spike, and finally you clip the corner over there and clip back onto the next corner of the door. It's weird, it's strange to explain. The clear video will be a lot better than what I'm currently telling you, honestly it will. This is rated at 1 point, mostly because the first jump above the spike is really difficult. If you want to get that coin, you have to challenge everything. You have to challenge a wall, you have to challenge a spike, and you have to challenge your landing. Everything. Every single step is a challenge in itself. It's not super difficult, obviously, otherwise it would be rated higher. It's a single move, so I mean, you'll try it until you get it. You might get lucky, you might figure it out and get it every time. Regardless, since it's a single move, it's not rated very high. I also rated it at 1 point because I don't think it's free enough to be 0.5. But it definitely isn't worth any more than 1 point because of how short it is. The last stage for today is Mini 2 Offering a Hand, which is obviously the second in the mini series from earlier. It's much harder. It took me about an hour and a half to figure out what I needed to do. It is actually rated at, 1.5, right, it was rated at 1.5, but I feel like it's really close to being a 2 point. It's really close to being a 2 point, because these jumps are not easy. Simply put, they're not easy. You have to nearly clip the spike to make it up there. You have to do an assisted trump. You have to get a coin there by doing... You have two choices. You can do a buffer jump or you can do a slight hook as you're falling. So if you line yourself up, you jump, and as you are falling, you move forward into the coin or backward into the other coin. You can actually do that, but it's not necessarily easy. And finally, even after getting those 2 coins, you have to hook back onto this platform over here from down there all the way over the spike in a single go. And you also have to hook above the munchers there, which I'm not even able to do consistently. So as you can see, there are a few really tight moves in this one. I still rated it at 1.5, like I said, because it's really short. With enough practice, you'll get it. And 2 point stages are usually a little bit more, they're longer. There's more tricks to them. If it's just 1 or 2 tricks, it's not going to be 2 points. It's going to be 1.5 or 1 point. Most of the time, anyway. The trick has to be extremely difficult to be worth more than 1.5 as a standalone trick. So anyway, that's my take on it. Once again, it's just a matter of opinion. Everybody does these stages differently. Some people have, a tendency to do these kind of stages in a certain way. I do them in a different way. it doesn't matter how you do them in the end, honestly, as long as you get the clear. That's what truly matters in precision stages. That's it for today, guys. 5 stages, 5 clears. What a ride. If you enjoyed the video, remember to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and click that bell notification button because there will be more content to come very, very soon. This series is bound to grow. There are tons of amazing precision stages out there, and I do enjoy the grind and the torture that comes with it. So anyway, thank you again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.